you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
This is Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are ladies things that makes official. Welcome to the big show. For over 16 years and 2,500 episodes, we've been bringing the Chris Voss Show, and we're just going to double that sometime soon. We're working on it day by day. But in the meantime, we need to refer your family, friends, and relatives. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss One, the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may buy advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Today's featured author comes to us from bookstolifemarketing.co.uk. With expert publishing to strategic marketing, they help authors reach their audience and maximize their book success. Today we have an amazing man on the show. We're going to be talking about his book that came out May 10th, 2010. It is called From There to Here, My Life Story by Mr. Edward Leon Hamner, Sr. We're going to get into it with him and his experience, etc., etc. He was born in Tuscaloosa County, Alabama. His grandpa was a slave who lived with his family in Alabama and also served in the U.S. Army. Give us hello there, Edward. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for being on your show.
Thank you. Give us any .coms or websites you want people to go to find out more about you.
If they want to go get the book, tell them to go to Edward Hamner Books.
Okay. Edward Hamner Books.
Edward Hamner Books. And it's your favorite department stores.
Your favorite department stores, as we used to say it. What was the old Montgomery's?
Yeah,
Montgomery
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble. Yeah,
Amazon, Walmart. eBay, they all, you can get the book.
Get the book. So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside your new book?
Say that again now.
Give us an overview of what's inside your book.
Okay. What's inside the book is my life from birth, childhood to adulthood. And it's about my life coming up in Tuscaloosa County, deep south, during the Jim Crow era, and my life in the military, and then my life in the community. And the book, I really was inspired to write the book because I wanted to be an inspiration for young people, and special Black young people. I wanted them to see something, read something about the bridge that brought them across this far.
So what was it like living in Tuscaloosa County during the Jim Crow era?
Okay, I'll put it this way. Living in segregated Tuscaloosa County during the Jim Crow era was like a horror movie. It's just that it was real.
Yeah.
And we had lots of restrictions. And when I say restrictions, certain areas in our community you couldn't go to after 6 o'clock.
Really?
In the evening, adult children, no one could do that. And not only that now, when it comes to restrictions, there was a limit. I noticed when it comes to emotion in public.
Oh, really?
I grew up and I never saw my mother and father hold hands in public.
Really?
I never saw them embrace each other in public. because that's the way it was coming up. Like I said, we had restrictions. These are the ones that I remember.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was struggling and straining every day.
Mm-hmm.
You go to sleep wondering what tomorrow's going to bring.
Mm-hmm.
You always was like you was on guard. You was always watching because, and I'll explain that, for the simple reason, white supremacy was really based around white men.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever they wanted you to do, whatever they say do, you did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw one of my brothers get hang him in a tree, Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They said he had kissed a white girl.
Really?
And, yep, they put him in the tree and put all of the black men they round up in the community around the tree and prayed for him. One was able to sneak away and come get my mom because my dad was gone. He was a preacher and a coal miner. Also. And she was able to cut him down.
Wow.
And she found out he was still breathing.
Really?
Yep. And she nursed him back to health, and they sneaked and got him out of Alabama without anybody knowing he was still alive.
Wow. Now that's an amazing story that's in the book.
It's in the book.
There you go.
It's in the book. So
how old were you when you first saw that? What was that like?
I was 14 years old.
Wow.
When I saw that.
Did it have an impact on you? I see that seems obvious. But
It had an impact. It had an impact on me, yes. But you know, our parents, my father, he was a preacher. My grandfather, he was a preacher. And preachers on down the line, brothers. And it had an impact. You know, my mom told all of us, look, whatever you see happen, don't hate the person that did it. Hate what they did. And that's how we grew up. Not hating, but hating the wrong that was being, did to us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they say that if you hold hate in your heart, you're the one who gets the most damage. So these are some of the examples of the stories. Do you feel that, you mentioned this, that you wanted young men and stuff to see this. Do you feel that this sort of data, this experience that Black people suffered through under Jim Crow and other atrocities, you feel it's forgotten now by today's youth? Maybe they think that that era is bygone. And
well, traveling on this journey, coming up through life in the Jim Crow era, I talk to young men and women, especially my family members, about what happened. And you would be surprised at how many young people today, black and white, who don't know the first thing about the Jim Crow era. They don't know how it was so hard on us, struggling and straining. And the one thing that bothered me more was the white ministers. They were teaching that we wasn't full human and that God agreed with discrimination. And I thought about that as I got older. I thought about that. And I couldn't really blame the white race for that because that's all they knew too. They were taught that from birth.
It's an interesting perspective, but I guess a necessary one given the circumstances. Did a lot of people have that sort of attitude? That seems like that would be very hard to adopt.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but you got to let live. And we walked our journey with hope every day. Hope every day.
What were some of the things that did you see the rise of Martin Luther King and other leaders in the Black community? Did you live through all that?
No. That was a quick no, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I are you putting me on then? Did you not live through it, or did you?
No, when it comes to those leaders, okay, you want to speak of the leaders during my period of time?
Yes.
Okay, there. Well, now that was one thing that I always appreciated with our elder leaders. They always taught us that there was a bright side somewhere. And you got to keep on moving. You got to keep on doing what you're doing until you find it.
Yeah.
And they taught us that the bright side is not going to find us. We had to get out there and find it ourselves.
Self-accountability.
Yeah. And see, the one thing that hindered us quite a bit in the Black race was the lack of education.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. How hard was it to get an education there?
It was very hard. We went to church up until the 6th grade. We went to church, and I'm going to say that. You might as well say 6 days a week, because our school was the church.
Oh, really?
And in the church, they hang white sheets from the ceiling to separate our classrooms. And right there in the middle of the little Black community, I only grew up knowing 40 Black families until I was 18 years old. Didn't know nothing about any other family.
Wow.
And and see, when we went to school like that, in the middle of our community, there was a elementary school building for white kids. But we wasn't allowed to even walk on that property. We couldn't go across that property.
Wow.
If we went across the property a few days, you'd see the Ku Klux showing up.
Wow.
Yeah. So education was something that was real hard, because we had to go out and farm. Once you turned 12 years old during the Jim Crow era, you went to work. We worked in fields because we lived on a shell crop for a while. We worked in fields, picking cottons, chopping corn, picking up peanuts and potatoes. I can go on down the list. That's what we had to do. And we had to gather all these crops up before we could go to school.
Wow. That's a lot of work to have to put in the morning. I used to think it was hard to walk, in the snow to school and all that stuff. What was it like living with the fear of the Ku Klux Klan? I mean, at what age do you become aware of that whole menagerie and the fear and terror?
Yep, as far back as I can remember.
Wow.
But I tell you something, might sound a little comical, about us children. The Ku Klux would come just about every Friday on a hill beyond where we were. Where we live today is named the Hamner Hill, named after our grandfather. And only family members lived on that hill. And on the other side of the hill, you would see the Ku Klux burning the cross and performing whatever they do.
Yeah.
And we kids would sneak in the woods and throw rocks at them.
Did you really? That's wild. Good for you. Good for you. Throw those rocks. I kill them. I'm like,
that's what we thought about it. But the truth is, they were the only law enforcement officer in the area where we lived.
wow.
There was no such thing as a real store market or anything where we could go shop to get clothing. You're only allowed to go to the store once a week.
Wow.
And
When you say only once a week, is that the social rule there? Is that the rule of?
That was the rule for all black people.
Wow, they can only go to the store once a week.
The Deep South.
Wow.
We can only do that. But now, one thing about my family, we worked it for a family named the Boyd family.
Mm-hmm.
And the Boyd family was nice to my parents because my mother was the district midwife, and she delivered the babies for all race.
Mm-hmm. And
my father being a preacher, they didn't bother preachers too much at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time we found freedom is when we went to church.
Wow, that's an interesting line.
They wasn't going to bother your church. Never, Ku Klux or no one else was going to bother you when you went to church.
Wow.
So,
pretty interesting.
But I tell you this about all of that, what I'm saying about the Ku Klux Klan, those were some sure enough dirty men.
Uh-huh.
As a child, I saw them with my own eyes kill 3 black men.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow. And do you remember how old you were at that time?
Oh, during that particular time, I was about 14, 15 years old.
And at that point, does it impact you? Do you just accept it? Do you just go, okay, well, another day in Alabama? Or does it, do you become numb, I guess is the question I'm asking.
No, not just another day. Because every day of your life, coming up in the Deep South, during the Jim Crow era,
mm-hmm.
your family member or somebody you know had some kind of incident where white men would come with bullwhips to whip them like a child.
Uh-huh.
I saw them. Now I remember now, I was about 12 years old. I saw them come run my father through the woods with a bullwhip.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they did it was they say, you could go to the store and get stuff on credit. And when you get paid in the field, you go pay the bill. But the one thing about that, the person on the store was the same one you was working for. But they did that because they said he owed some money.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the type of stuff that I saw as a child. Now I'm not getting older now. I'm still around that little teenager's age. But now as I grew older, life changed on me.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't allowed to speak to a white woman.
Wow.
A white woman wasn't allowed to speak to me.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have any type of utility, anything like that in the streets, sidewalk. We never saw anything like that. And when you're coming down one of them dirt roads,
mm-hmm.
you saw a white lady coming down that road, you have to step out in the bush there and turn your back.
Wow.
Till she passes.
And
this was everyday life.
Wow.
This is everyday life. And when you talk like I'm telling you,
mm-hmm.
telling you the truth, but a true story here,
mm-hmm.
lots of people don't want to hear that. And I say to myself, this is why they want to take Black history out of the school.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't. Go ahead.
These stories are important because a lot of history, we've had a lot of historians and authors on the show, and right. A lot of our history was plainly whitewashed. Like a lot of it is just white history.
Right.
A lot of black stories haven't been told, And we've had a lot of great people on the show that have talked about that. Eddie Glaude Jr. talked about James Baldwin and stuff.
You're right.
And
Go ahead.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's really important that they tell the story and you remind people because, it's what I always say on the show. The one thing man can learn from his history is that man never learns from his history. And thereby we just go round and round.
Right.
So it's important to memorialize these things and let people know, I think. What do you think?
I, have a message for the young people, especially my rate of people nowadays. I'd say to them, look, you need to know the bridge that brought you across because we are only seeking or looking or hoping for three things, just three things: freedom, justice, and equality.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for any revenge or hatred. That's not why we protest. We want opportunities. And that's the one thing that a black person didn't have during the Jim Crow era in the Deep South was an opportunity.
Yeah.
No, there was no way you could progress.
So what type of work did your family do?
Okay. We farmed, and lots of the women's, my mom, we all picked cotton, but lots of the women were cooks, housekeepers in the white home. My oldest sister was one of them. She was in high school, and in the evening she'd go and clean. But then there were others that I know were there sun up to sundown because they had to get there in time to wash the white kids up, get them dressed, cook for them to go to school. And I'm going to add this on there. This might sound sort of off here, but most people don't realize white women didn't have that much freedom either.
Yeah.
They did not have it. They just stayed at home and supervised the black women that worked for them.
How was military life treating you when, after you grew up in Alabama, what was the military like? And was there a difference? Did things get better?
Well, now, when I got to the military, there were still segregation going on. There was still opportunities that the whites was achieving, but we could not. And the life was different, though, because that was the first time that I ever walked on a sidewalk. First time I ever saw a light switch on the wall. First time that I saw how you flush a toilet.
Wow. Really?
Coming from the Jim Crow era, we had nothing like that. But when I got in the military, then these things said, well, wait a minute. They're going on pretty good.
Yeah, you're seeing the world outside.
Yeah, but now another thing was we still had segregation going on because during voting time, we would have to stay in the barracks while the white soldiers go vote. We could not vote.
Really? In the military? Wow.
In the military. We could not vote. We couldn't do it.
It's crazy. Now, was this before the Voting Act?
Oh, yeah. This is way before the Voting Act.
Okay.
I'm speaking about, from 1955 up until the Voting Act.
When was the first time you voted? What was that like when you finally got there?
The first time I was voted, I was excited and confused. I was voting because they carried me there to vote to the polls. I didn't know one person from the other one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're like, who are these names?
I did not know a Democrat from a Republican.
Wow.
Or an independent. All I know was I can vote.
You have a choice.
And I've been voting ever since.
The power.
I've been voting ever since then.
Mm-hmm.
And I that's the best weapon.
It really is.
Have.
That's why.
In
That's why.
in this country.
Yeah, we
And
need more people to vote.
we need them out there. There's over 330 million people here, and only like maybe half of them vote every vote here. But more will need to get out there and vote.
Definitely. I think
And
30% of this country doesn't vote.
that's why I say to all of the black young people,
Mm-hmm.
go vote.
Yeah.
Get out the house, go vote.
And research and study who you're voting for too.
That's
what they're
it.
about.
Right? Don't just vote for anybody. Like I did, because I didn't know no better.
Yeah. Well, it's a good start.
Yeah, I just getting started and wasn't that educated. And I'm doing it because they say you can do it. But it's not that way now.
Yeah.
It's a way of life. It's a sacred. Get out there and do it.
Mm-hmm. So now, when you came back from the military, did you come back to Alabama? What was that like?
Oh, no.
Oh.
I came back when my parents had moved. They all was living in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, Cincinnati. Everyone went up there and got out of Alabama.
But now Cincinnati was good, but it wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
There was still segregation there, too.
Really?
Especially, when it comes to housing.
Oh, for housing.
Communities that you could live in.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I got in the military in 58. And what happened there is, I never will forget, they had Coney Island, they call it Kings Island now. But it was closer to the city, Coney Island. And when we went there, we couldn't even go through the same gate that white people went through.
Really?
We definitely couldn't swim in the same swimming pool that they, swim in.
Mm-hmm.
And they had restaurants there, but we could not sit and eat in the same restaurant with white people in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Wow. That is wild.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you something that will never leave my mind. Never. When I came back in uniform from the military, I went to the reserve, and just coming from overseas, I spent 3 years over there. And when I come home and I decide I'm going to visit people in my hometown back in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Soon as I crossed that Ohio River into Covington, Kentucky, they pull up at a stop, and all us black people had to go to the back of that bus.
Wow, man.
And I'm saying to myself, I can't believe this. I spent 3 years over there, willing to give my life for this great country. And when I get home, I can't ride in the front of the bus, but overseas, I spent many years in Germany. I just overseas, I could ride in the bus I wanted to.
Wow.
But I come back home and I couldn't do it. I never will forget that.
Yeah, that will haunt you. Yeah, and it's so unfortunate because people who are willing to give their life for this country and stuff should be respected. So as we round out, tell people why you want people to read this book and how it should be an inspiration, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. People who are interested in civil rights, Black history, this is the book that brief with pictures. So you can see and get an idea on what it was like traveling on a journey as a Black person in the United States of America. Mm-hmm. And I want to pass this on to the young people. When it seemed like the door of progress closing in your face, don't give up. Don't give out. Hold your hold and stand your ground until reinforcement comes. And reinforcement is coming. And again, this might sound off, but it's true. Reinforcement is on the way. And the reinforcement are the love that white people have started found out and standing beside their black sisters and brothers.
There you go. We're all human.
That's where help is. Because they don't want to go back to the Jim Crow era. And they're not going back to the Jim Crow era. So that's, in my close, that's my whole hope in my book. If the book, if it don't help but one person, I'm happy.
So any future books that you have coming out, maybe you're working on? I know you have one prior if you want to plug that one.
Yep. I you know what? I wrote a religious book. It's titled On the Right Road, Heading in the Wrong Direction. You need to make a U-turn in the United States. Right now, we're on the right road. We're a great country. We're a democracy. We are a republic. And that means we the people have the power.
Yeah.
We the boss.
We're supposed to.
The White House and all the rest of the we don't work for them. They work for us. We make their payday.
Yeah.
And what I want to really say to you, Chris, is this right here. All we don't seeking for right now is the same opportunity that every citizen in the United States have. We want that same opportunity. Don't want you to give us a handout. Don't want you to give us another. Just give us a chance to get it. And what lots of people don't realize, white Americans been had these opportunities all their life. We just been had some of them for 60 years. And that's when President Johnson signed the Voting Right and the Civil Rights Act bill. 60 years we've been trying to catch up. That's all. We had but 60 years to try to catch up.
Well, it's a wonderful message and should inspire people, Edward. Give us your .coms as we go out, websites you want people to look you up on the internet.
Where you want them to go to again. Now, you can email me at Grandpa Hamner at email.com.
Okay.
You do that. I want to hear from you. Yeah, because I want you to see this book. Can I hold it up?
Yeah, go ahead, please. From here to there, my life story.
From here to there.
The past, the future.
It's small. I didn't want to put too much in there to bore anybody. I want them to be able to read it. And I just came home from taking chemo. I have cancer.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I just came home this morning from taking more chemo. And the driver that brought me home, while we were talking about it, and I said, I'm going to be on the Chris Voss show. I said, this is one of the greatest opportunities that I ever had.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. I really believe that about you.
Well, we've been doing this podcast for 16 years, 2,500 episodes. We've been
and
around.
You know what he did while we was coming to my house?
Huh.
Went on his cell phone and ordered the book.
Awesome sauce. We're spreading the magic and the love. Well, thank you very much, Edward, for coming on the show and sharing your wonderful story and message.
Okay, it's been nice talking to you, too.
You too, sir.
And hope we meet again.
Yes, let's do. Order the book, folks, wherever fine books are sold. It's called From There to Here, My Life Story, out May 10th, 2020 or 2010. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTok and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. And that should have us.